What's going on, guys? Welcome on in. Today we made about $116 trading 3 stocks. We had one loser, one probably break even, and then one we made about 174 on. So we'll dive into all those trades here today. And we kind of got back on the winning side. It's been, I feel like, a choppy past couple of sessions, or week and a half, maybe 2 weeks almost. So it's good to be back on the winning side, I guess, but you know, the market is the market, so we shall see. There's still some updates to be done in the back end of this because we've got some other trades from Friday that did not get put in properly here, but let's talk about today. These are all in properly. So first trade of the day was actually Meta. This one was early on in the day because I noticed high volume. So this ended up being essentially a break-even trade, so I made $22 after commissions. It's like $10. Ends up being about a break-even trade. The initial target was for 164, and I was risking about $100 on this trade. The reality with this trade was that I saw high volume. So if I jump over to the 15-minute chart, you'll see the volume coming in. If you zoom back out, you know, today, volume was high compared to obviously Friday, and even the past couple of days, it was quite high, and it was breaking out over this 396 or 397 level that I was watching last week. And this was a spot that I was like, I like Meta here if it can break out. So I got in on the break of that level earlier with the volume. We just didn't get the follow through at this time. It came later in the day, but it is what it is. The timing was a little bit off. So playing a 15-minute chart here, which I generally look for 5-minute charts and then 1-hour charts and then 4 and then dailies and weeklies. Ended up doing what I thought it was going to do. It just pulled back a little bit deeper than I wanted it to pull back. And so I stopped out for break even because I was up decently on this. I kid you not, was about 10 cents shy of my target. I was targeting 399.83, I swear. And we hit 399 like 70. So we're like 13 cents shy on this upper wick right here. But it is what it is. So I ended up, you know, not losing on it because once I saw that, I was like, hey, I can't lose in this trade. It was 13 cents away from my target. I can't lose. So I moved my stop loss to pretty much break even, and that's what ended up happening. But ended up going later on. So eyes were in the right place, just didn't work, you know, when I want it to work. But that's part of the game. So that was that one. Then we had Nvidia. This one, same kind of situation, right? If you jump over to the 5-minute chart, you'll notice that Nvidia, if I zoom out, had a level that, let's just see if I can pull this up. That's kind of cool. Had a level that we were looking to break from last Friday, and we pretty much got that level around the 617.50 pre-market, and then we had a consolidation just under that level. So on the break, this consolidation here, we held VWAP. I wanted to push up. And I got in, and then it just sputtered out. But funny that later on in the day, look later on in the day, big move. So the move, again, eyes are in the right place. The overall trajectory was kind of in the right direction. It just didn't go when I got in. So took an $80 loss there. Again, not a big loss. It is what it is. Then we had AMD. So here I am thinking to myself, well, you know, we're kind of sitting on this trade, and it is what it is. Or we had these two trades and like they kind of are duds, like we're kind of going, but we're not. It's more of a dip buy environment. It's not like a breakout environment this second, right now. So I haven't traded this very often because I don't have enough data on this to be like, here's exactly when to use it to a T. I'm kind of in like almost trial mode of it. After another year, maybe I'll have enough data to give you more, but I think this is the answer, potentially could be the answer. I shouldn't say I think. It potentially could be the answer to trading consolidation and trading chop if you're a breakout trader, if you feel like you must trade. Identify that we're in chop, identify we're in consolidation, and then look for this setup. That's kind of what it would be. And so I can make a different video on that, but essentially it's the inverse of what I trade. And what I mean by that is we had a low right here, and you can kind of make this into a flag. Like you can kind of see that we had this push in pre-market, big pullback, kind of a fat flag. It wasn't like a super tight, narrow flag, which again is not like the most bearish looking flag. So that would be kind of boding well for the upside. And then what you want to see is a breakdown underneath the lows. So like, let's say I was going to short, right? I would short if we break down like below these lows. Okay, that was not the right color. Let's pull it to white. I would be looking to short if we break down below these lows right here, right? And so in doing that, what I'm setting up is this bear flag trade, right? But I can't trade a bear flag. Why? Because go to a bigger picture chart. Now you zoom out on this chart and it's like all we got on AMD the past weeks is up. So I don't do that. I don't short stuff that's been strong. Just not going to do it. Probabilities are not on my side, so I don't do it. But if we get a failed breakdown, I would consider a long, and that's where the strategy comes in. So I simply I literally just took the trade once I saw that, and I had a tight stop. So my trade risk was $78.90 to make 172. Ends up being a 2.2 R. Pretty good. In my book, at least. That's just the way I trade. That's a pretty good number. So what I do is in this situation is I then set it for pretty much right in the middle of the consolidation. So it depends upon, exactly where you want to set it. It's up to you really to kind of make the determination, but really it was a break above this little high right here. So right up into the middle of this, like these double tops, which were up around 178. I wasn't looking for that, but I was looking for a push back up into kind of a return. It's really a return to mean. So you target around the VWAP, which is what I did. I targeted around the VWAP, and I targeted just shy of 177 or about 177 because it was kind of like the next whole psychological number level. So entry here. Let's just dive into it. Not entry here. Entry on this candle. Why? Because this is the wick. This is our risk. It's simple as that. Our risk is low of day on that wick. If this wick, right, if this candlestick stayed strong or stayed weaker, we would have had a fat red candle pushing down into lows. But because of that wick, that says, maybe there's some strength here. This is not the weakest looking candle. This is not a very nice breakdown. If I was short, I'd be concerned. We end up never hitting low of day. Got close. We never hit low of day, and eventually it winds its way back up. This trade also, from my experience, has taken much longer to play out. So you can't expect momentum and then immediately targets hit if it works. No, it takes its time. But as long as low of day is respected, this can work. And it has, from my experience, again, this doesn't happen all the time. I'm not looking for this all the time. But when we are in a certain environment, this could be good. And it seemed like, based off the two trades that I took, those breakouts just didn't go. Those were two signs to me that we don't have a full-on momentum push. We got that later in the day. But at least the first half of the day, we didn't have that momentum environment. And so this would be a place to go if, again, a setup presents. And in this case, that break to low of day and then that suck right back up presented itself, and it provided low risk. In a bigger picture uptrend, that's the long. If we were trending down, that's not a long. If we're trending down, that's a short, not a long, and it would have been a short that just didn't work. But because we were trending up on the bigger picture timeframes, this is viable. And so that's what I did. And that was the trade. So I literally just left it and then literally left. Like I just let the trade just either stop loss or take profit. I'm done. And eventually hit the take profit. So that's the deal. That was today. 116. Okay, let's jump over here. So into the dashboard on 1 of 1, we are up to, a couple $100, almost $200 back green. We were pretty much flat to finish off last week. So it's nice to get back on the positive side. I have one open trade on the Dow, and that's really it. It says that I'm losing a lot more because it's calculating commissions as losses, but it's not. Those aren't actually losses. And so everything gets exported in here automatically by TradeZella, which is this platform right here. I'll leave a link to them down below. There's more data that's, for whatever reason, Friday's data did not export. So I'm working to see if I can get them to export that in soon, or I can manually do that potentially at some point in the future. That's today's trade recap. Thanks so much for watching. Like always, when I close trades, we have trade recaps. So there you guys have it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.